If I knew what I know today when I started my menstrual cup journey, it would have been so much easier. So I recently had a conversation with my cousin sister who stopped using her menstrual cup after a few tries. So this made me wonder why women actually stop it even after buying one for themselves. The fears, the issues that they face that often we menstrual cup users take for granted. So today let me give you some very easy tips that I hope will make this transition pain-free and easy for every woman out there. If you don't know already, an average woman uses 10 to 12,000 disposable menstrual products in their lifetime. And by switching to a reusable one, you'll be able to save up over 90% of the money that you spent on those products too. Also, if you want to know more in detail about using a menstrual cup, I have a whole video series with multiple videos on the same topic that you can watch and learn from. So let's start with the tips. Firstly is cup quality. So every menstrual cup is made of medical grade silicone, but it comes with different firmness. So the firmness of a menstrual cup is how much effort it actually takes for the cup to spring open into its own shape when released inside you. So a soft cup would be very easy to insert than a hard one, but it may be harder to open up completely when inside you based on the pressure that your vagina puts on it. So a medium firm is probably the easiest to use when you are using a cup for the very first time. It will pop open easily and the pressure will be very slight inside you. A firm cup, it is very easily fully open inside you with very less help, but it can be felt a little bit more. Choice for it varies from person to person, so you should choose according to your preference. The next tip is thickness of rim. Whichever cup you choose, make sure that the rim of the cup is not too thin, as this rim is what will touch the vaginal canal and collect the menstrual blood. So thin rims may not be able to get as good a grip on the vaginal walls as a thick one would. So always make sure that you choose rims that are not very thin. So as you can see, this one is quite thin. The rim is quite thin when compared to say this one. You can see the thickness of the rim in both of this, the difference, and that this is a thinner rim and this is a thicker rim. So this is not one which I'm a fan of. So next is vacuum holes. Under the rim and around the cup, there are small tiny holes usually. It isn't in all cups, as you can see in this one doesn't have any holes at all, but it's the case of most cups. So these are called as vacuum holes. So these holes ensure that a proper vacuum is created when the cup goes and sits inside you to ensure that it doesn't slide out easily. When you're taking it out to clean it and reinsert, make sure that the holes have no blood residue stuck inside them, because vacuum holes need to be fully clear if it is to ensure a good vacuum inside. So make sure to take out any gunk inside it before you reinsert it. Okay, so the next one is cup stains. A cup stain is the most natural thing and isn't anything that you should be worried about. Any product that's in contact with blood will obviously stain over time, and that's completely okay. Just make sure that when you take out the cup to clean it, you do it under cold water and not hot water, as hot water can increase and set the stain when washed with the blood. You can always clean the cup with hot water after the blood is taken out if it makes you feel better that way. So if nothing, try and opt for cups with darker colors in which the stain isn't easily visible. So this cup I've only used like 3 to 4 times and yet it's gotten stained, while the Asan cup doesn't have any stain at all. Even my Boon cup, which is probably the most used one until now, has minimal stains. So if you want either the Boon or the Asan cup, I actually do have discount codes for both of them that you can use down in the description box below. So your cup is not dirty or ruined just because it's stained. Next is the stem size and shape. So most cups come with different stem sizes and shapes, as you already see. Generally, long stemmed cups are preferred by most women, while I personally prefer short ones. If you're a beginner, maybe a short stem might increase your anxiety while removing the cup. So for most women who find it hard to take out their cup, I suggest the use of Asan cup, which comes with a ring. So if you already have one with, say, a long stem, know that you can always cut the stem to suit your need. There is no harm in that. So the stem is for you to customize according to your vaginal length or any irritation that it causes. So in case the stem is irritating you when it's inside you, you can always cut it down to make it more comfortable for you to wear. So next is insertion. So if you are a beginner and starting out by using a cup for the very first time, never try it when you're not on your period, because your period blood acts as a natural lubricant along your vaginal canal, helping you insert the cup much more easily than when you are not having your period. If you are still intent on trying it out to become better at the insertion technique even before your periods come, I would advise you to use a lubricant to help you with the insertion, because otherwise, along with your tension while you're inserting and the absence of bodily lubricants, it will be very hard and it might pain you a little bit. So either use a lubricant or try it only during a period time. And even during a period time, if you find it quite hard to insert, I would advise you to still go and check out using a lubricant, because it will ease the insertion much better. Lubricants are a gem when it comes to making insertion much easier. Next is pulling out. So always, and I mean always, make sure that you pinch the base of your cup to break the vacuum before you attempt to pull the cup out. So if the cup is inside you with the vacuum and you just try to pull it out, it will pain a lot because you're just trying to drag your vaginal canal with it. Instead, just pinch and release the vacuum so that you can pull it out much more easily without much pressure at all. Always break that suction to make it much easier on yourself. Next is cervix length. So what is cervix? It's basically the base of your uterus, and it's sort of like a tiny opening through which the blood flows from the uterus down below. So it is at this base of the opening that we usually place our cup. So our cervix sort of keeps moving throughout the month, and so it's ideal to measure the cervix during your period. So when you want to do that, make sure you clean your hands and then insert the index finger inside your vagina until you can touch the cervix, which usually feels like the tip of your nose. It feels like that. So when you touch your cervix, mark the length of your finger inside you using the thumb. So mark it like that. So if your thumb goes in until the first line of your finger, then it's probably a low cervix. If it goes until the middle line, it is an average cervix. And if almost the whole of your finger goes in, it is a high cervix. So accordingly, you can check the dimensions of the cup that you choose and select the one that will be good for you. Let's talk about our usual business, by which I mean our daily toilet business. So many women have complained about not feeling comfortable while they're peeing or pooping with the cup inside of them. I personally haven't had any issue doing either with the cup inside of me. But yes, the cup does move down a bit. But as soon as I stand up afterwards, I felt that the cup sort of goes back into its place. But again, it can differ from person to person. So in case you fear that the cup will come out, especially while you are at a public toilet, I would suggest that you take it out, do the deed, and then put it back in. But generally, unless you're pushing really hard while you're pooping or so, the cup doesn't, come out at all. So decide for yourself what is more comfortable for you and do it accordingly. So these were some of the things I had no idea about when I started on my menstrual cup journey. So if you want to see the talk with the co-founder of the Boond Cup, go check out this video over here. And if you want to see the Menstrual Cup video series that kick-started this sustainability journey on my YouTube channel, go click here. So I will see you in the next videos. Until then, bye bye.